Good evening and welcome. You're watching Trending Tonight with me, Sanket Upadhyay. Two stories that we are tracking right here. Story number one, you've heard all day long what everyone had to say on Pegasus, on snooping, on leaks. But the most important question still remains unanswered, absolutely unanswered. And that most important question is, does the Indian government use Pegasus or not? Because if you recall, for the past 3 days, all sorts of things are being said, that these names, people being snooped upon, the government saying international agenda, absolutely rubbish, no basis in fact, but has always avoided answering this very simple question. It avoided in 2019 also, it has avoided in 2021 also. Do you use Pegasus or not? Because if you do, then questions will be asked of the government on expected lines. What many in the opposition are asking, that why are you doing this? Why snoop upon opposition politicians? But if you don't, then this is a matter of great national security. Who is snooping? Who has ordered all this snooping in this country, if it is not the government? Because NSO, the Pegasus company, says we don't sell it to anyone else other than the governments. So that's going to be the crucial question that we'll ask on the show. Also on the show, Bollywood's latest scandal, Mr. Raj Kundra has been arrested for involvement with porn films. The entire case diary, what the police has to say, what the defense lawyers have to say, all of that on this show. But first, let me introduce Mr. Vijay Jolly, Dr. Vijay Jolly from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Dr. Jolly, would you like to answer that question? The all-crucial question of whether the government of India uses this NSO software called Pegasus or not. Yes or no?
I'm not a spokesperson for the government of India. If that question had been directed in the parliament to the right quarters, they would have checked up their records and have told you. But allegations are nothing new. These are figments of allegations which have been coming through during the past not 1 decade, not 2 decades, not 3 decades, but since 1980, when in Karnataka, Ramakrishna Hegde had made the same allegation. In 1990, Chandrasekhar ji had made the same allegations against his Janata Dal colleague VP Singh. In 1991, Rajiv Gandhi had made the allegations against Devi Lal and Chandrasekhar. And in 2006, Mulayam Singh and Amar Singh had alleged that Sonia Gandhi ji was responsible for phone tapping in India. And also, in 2009, the then railway minister, Mamata Banerjee, had alleged that her West Bengal counterparts of CPIM had done so and found her telephone.
Jolly, there is a slight difference.
But the most prominent, which I wish to recall on this show, is Pranab Mukherjee, the most powerful minister in the Congress regime, himself in 2010, having alleged to the then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, when his office was found bugged with the chewing gum and compromising material which was called as plantable adhesive substance.
Okay.
So it is nothing new.
Yes, it is nothing new, but there is a slight difference, Dr. Jolly. Dr. Jolly, slight difference. This time around, we are talking about a software which uses vulnerability in mobile software to hack into phones. Imagine how simple it is now to snoop. All you need is a missed call in WhatsApp. All you need is to drop one message in iMessage.
Mr. Sanket, in these modern times, when it is easy to communicate, it is easy to snoop into any telephone, whether it is done by the private agencies or by the national security agencies within the framework of the law of the land.
Very important point that you made in the statement of Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav. He also said that there is a proper laid out structure and process in the law which has to be followed if you want to tap into someone's phone. The allegation over here is that that process was not followed. For instance, all these allegations that are now coming of you having snooped into phones of Karnataka opposition leaders who were in power then for allegedly, gaining information, or journalists' phones, or allegedly politicians from the opposition and their phones. Now, where was the legal documentation? I agree with you that snooping, there is a set process in law. My point is, if was a set process here, then where is that process? Are you denying that the snooping ever happened? Because if that is the case, then you must register FIRs against the people who are alleging.
We would rather say that the foreign provocateurs are in league with the domestic dissent, and this is the move to maintain the Modi government at the center.
One more, Dr. Jolly, one slight comment. You are saying that these are foreign agencies in league with certain people in the country to malign Mr. Narendra Modi. Now, obviously, yes, this will only be proven once there is a probe. Okay. Number two, and most crucial aspect, the government says that this has been notoriously brought in just on the eve of the parliament session and to malign Modi. I hope you realize that this is an international operation and an international exercise spreading from UAE to Azerbaijan to Morocco to Rwanda. Now, surely Mr. Modi is not ruling there, no? And surely parliament sessions are not on in each of these countries. So, I don't understand this argument, Dr. Jolly.
You see, the argument is clear. Create a sensation on the eve of the parliament, try to destabilize the Modi-led government, call for the resignation of the Home Minister on fictitious grounds when the opposition itself does not have a credible evidence to pin down my government at the center. This is when the IT minister, whose name has been quoted,
simple question. Simple question, and I expect a simple answer, Dr. Jolly, as we leave you. My simple question is, don't you think that there should be a probe in this case? Should there be a probe in this case? An independent probe in this case?
I will come to that. If there has to be a probe, that probe has to be in the totality, right from 1980 to 2021. What all happened during the
allegations have come only now.
Party, and it's
Dr. Jolly, allegations of this Pegasus leak have only come now.
Allegation, Sanket, during the Congress regime.
If you are saying that all of this is fake and a figment of imagination, then you must carry out a probe. A probe will be in your interest.
In the parliament had said, I am not going to have a GAPC probe. Manmohan Singh himself, the Congress leader, I wish to ask my Congress friends on that, not the NDTV, my friend Sanket on this subject. When their Prime Minister did not order for a set for a JPC probe.
I'm running out of time.
Right. Without any substantial.
Sure, Dr. Jolly, thank you very much. I've got the point that you're making, and it's interesting that you say that the probe must be carried out since from 1980. The allegations of this Pegasus probe has come only now. I have with me Mr. Kapil Sibal, Senior Congress Leader. Thank you very much, Mr. Sibal, for joining us.
Good evening.
You held a press conference today, Mr. Sibal.
Yes.
Making some serious points. One of the points that I could gather was that number one, the government must specify whether it uses this software called Pegasus or not. So far, we have not got any clarity.
Correct. That's absolutely right. Hello?
Mr. Sibal, do you think that the government must specify its position on whether it uses this software or not?
I'll tell you why I'm saying this.
Yeah.
It's because of the fact that Pegasus is a software that is owned by an Israeli company, that NSO Technologies. And the policy of the NSO Technologies is that this software and the IP of which is owned by the Israeli company will not be allowed, will only be given for the purposes of using that service, right? So the property is retained by the Israeli company for the purposes of allowing the software to be used. They charge a sum of money, And under their policy prescriptions, they don't give it to anybody else other than the government, and only for the purposes of using it against terrorists and people who've done really serious crimes of international ramifications. And the approval is given by the Ministry of Defense in Israel before such a license is given to any government. And the governments to whom the license have been given, unfortunately, we're in the company of those governments which are not really democratic governments. That's the sad part of it. The question that has to be answered is that who was using this in India? Because it couldn't have been used by a private entity. It will either be used by the government itself or a government agency. And it can only be used if it's allowed to be used pursuant to monies being given to NSO Technologies. Now, we have not got a clear answer from the government on this count. Neither the Minister of Information Technology and Telecom said this on the floor of the House, nor has it ever been denied. In fact, there was a question asked in the Rajya Sabha, I think in the Rajya Sabha in November 2019, whether Pegasus was being used by the government. And there was no response to that. In fact, the Minister of State then replied saying, whatever we do it legally, namely after clearances in terms of the normal procedures. But Pegasus is not part of that normal procedure. So he never answered that question. So he didn't answer it in 2019. He didn't answer it. They haven't answered it today. That's point number one. Point number two is that there are lists that have been prepared. Now, forget about the use or the misuse of Pegasus. The question is, why were these lists prepared? And these were all prepared between 2017 and 2019, including journalists, which quote unquote are independent. They were used against, Mamata Banerjee's nephew. They were used against political leaders, and including, in the list is the name of Rahul Gandhi as well, Deva Gowda's PS, Sitaramaia's PS, Kumaraswamy's PS, other leaders of various political parties. Why were these lists prepared and for what purpose? Nobody's answered that. Who prepared these lists? Nobody's answered that. And when you use Pegasus, it is done through a link, and the data goes back through the link to NSO Technologies.
But Mr. Sibal, NSO in a statement has said that we don't know what people are talking about. This is not our database.
I know that, but there is also a big issue involved, because they say that we will not allow this surveillance to be done till we are satisfied that there is enough evidence for the government to do surveillance. So how was this done? These are all questions that need to be answered. And there's a suit filed, a complaint filed in California by WhatsApp Inc. And where they have done this in the United States. And NSO Technologies, which is the defendant there, has said that, look, because this involves the Israeli government, we have governmental immunity. And therefore, you can't proceed with this matter, which was rejected by that court. So they've done it in various jurisdictions. All these questions are yet to be answered, no matter what these people say.
My final question to you is, when the government says that, no, this is all this is a figment of imagination, obviously, one would expect that there should be a probe. Because you can't believe a government just because they're making a statement. There has to be an investigation, with people alleging that their phones were under surveillance. It requires a probe. Don't you think that it will be in the best interest of everyone for there to be an independent probe in this case?
Well, let me just answer that by prefacing it as to what are the issues involved. The first issue is, if any data has gone outside the country, then it's a national security breach. That has to be probed. Number two, if any minister has been compromised in this fashion by hacking his mobile phone or using that malware, then it's a violation of the Official Secrets Act. That has to be probed. The fact that IT rules have been violated, that has to be probed. The fact that a woman who was working in the Supreme Court was targeted along with the members of the family, which is a violation of Section 354D of the Indian Penal Code, which amounts to stalking, that has to be probed. The fact that you are violating the right to privacy, that has to be probed. And it cannot be probed by agencies which are suspect in this government, by agencies of this government which are entirely Therefore, there has to be a judicial probe by sitting 3 Supreme Court judges, like what happened in the Vineet Narayan case, a continuing mandamus by persons selected by that court of independent, of unquestionable integrity, part of various investigating agencies, and in camera. And there should be a white paper by the government placed on the floor of the House, apart from the demand that the Congress has made about the JPC. These are very, very, very serious issues. They just can't be taken lightly. It's not about politics. It is not about parties. It is not about individuals. It is about national security and the safety of citizens of this country.
Absolutely.
I see you today as a citizen, not as a member of any political party.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Sibal, for sparing time and answering these questions. Let's move on now to story number 2 on Bollywood's latest scandal, where Raj Kundra has been arrested for involvement in pornographic films, pornography. Let me now introduce Mr. Akashdeep Sabir. He's an actor, producer, director. Swapnil Kothari, senior lawyer of the Bombay High Court. P.S. Pasricha, former Mumbai Police Commissioner, and Chandni Shah, advocate in the Bombay High Court. Thank you very much. We'll begin with you, Mr. Swapnil Kothari. These charges are serious, extremely serious charges. How would you look at them? I mean, you've heard what the police had to say in their press conference. I think they the manner in which they've kind of joined the dots, it appears to be an extremely serious matter.
Yes, exactly. Sanket, there is no question about it that the police has acted after due thought. I would say that it's not somebody just ordinarily that they've picked up. The person happens to be a husband of a well-known personality. The person himself is a well-known businessman, and you don't just pick up people just like that, without applying your mind. And more so, especially in February 2021, when Gehna Vashisht had given this name, they obviously had time to think about it, to collect evidence, to collate evidence. And once you collate evidence, then you find that some sort of a cognizable offense has taken place. Then you go ahead and make an arrest to a person. Obviously, in an earlier show, when you and I were there, somebody raised an issue of a Section 41A notice needs to be given before making an arrest. But that notice, just to bring it to the attention of your viewers and for the information, has to be given when a police does not expect a fundamental arrest. They only want to call in a person for questioning. And even if there was a notice requirement of such sorts, then I think it is just a procedural aspect. And the procedure is always the handmaiden of substantive justice. And more importantly, when you have evidence to that effect that this person's company was involved, people are involved, the computers were used, obviously these evidences themselves, Sanket, give you a credible suspicion about a person being involved in this. And if they've used a phrase that he's at the center of conspiracy about it, he's a conspirator in that sort, or an important person, then in that sense, obviously, they have full rights under the CRPC to call that person, ask him questions, which they did, and upon 5 hours of grilling,
and arrest him
detained that person.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Mr.
And judicial
Pasricha,
custody, they've been nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not alleging that they've been unkind to Mr. Kundra. I mean, he's being investigated for charges that are against him. Mr. Pasricha, some of the things that the police has said is that they've sufficient evidence, and the probe is on, that Kundra may have set up a company in UK to avoid the tough anti-pornography laws in India. They've found a firm here tied up with Kundra's UK firm, and porn clips on office computers. There is a company in the UK, and he also has, some relation with the people who manufacture this or make this app. How difficult do you think is it going to be for the police to be able to prove these allegations? Because this is a very serious charge, extremely serious.
Well, it is very difficult for the police to connect what they have found in India and what's happening in London, because these people find an escape route. They, as I find in the last few days, and also, with my informal discussion, that these people were getting the film produced by some, petty filmmakers, and also taking some girls, who are very ambitious and were dreaming to be part of the Bollywood but couldn't make it. They were struggling. So that is only the filmmaking. And here we have limitations of law, because if the two adults with mutual consent are, being picturized and they're giving, some nudity, etc., then it's not really that big an offense, except that certain, obscenity and certain IT Act things. But the main challenge will come before the police would be now what they have done in London, because the London company is learned that 10 crore rupees have been invested by Raj Kundra, and the company belongs to his brother-in-law. Now that will come, perhaps ED may come in later if necessary, because as I understand, some foreign exchange, lot of pounds have been also found today, this morning, from his house. Now, and then, these people, what they do is they set up some apps. So in that apps, like Hotspots app, this is subscriber, is paid fee. Those people then they transmit from London. So that becomes the more serious offense.
Okay.
These two will have to be...
So you shoot here and transmit it from there to escape the law. Very quickly, Chandni Shah, I want to come to you now. Raj Kundra and lawyers in his defense say that he sold off this company to an accused called Pradeep Bakshi, though the police says that Kundra continued to be involved in the finances of this app. And that's the correlation. That's the reason why this action.
Yes. Financial transactions also play a very important role, whether you are a key conspirator or not, whether you are directly involved in this or whether you are money-wise involved in such things, such acts. Also, arresting such a person of this stature, you really need excruciating evidences for doing that. He was called in for interrogation. He was interrogated for 4 to 5 hours. And after that, he was arrested. He was detained. That means that police must have got some evidence against him to make that arrest. Otherwise, this arrest would not have been made.
This is not a witch hunt. The police may have obviously had some evidence.
If it had been a witch hunt, then he would have been arrested way back in February when he was named. There had been thorough investigation of 4 months. After that, he was called in for interrogation, not even arrested primarily, and then he was arrested.
Sure.
It means that there was some excruciating evidence, and we've seen that still investigation is going on. He's an accused, not a convict. He's an accused.
No,
so let's see how the investigation goes.
For the purposes of this debate, let's say this very, very clearly. Nobody, NDTV does not believe in doing debates where we declare people the culprit before the law does. Akashdeep, what's your opinion?
I would have said that we should wait for the further details to come out, but when the police commissioner's office has tweeted saying we have sufficient evidence, this could mean a lot more serious, and definitely a lot of answering will have to be done. Just like my earlier speaker was saying, he quit this company some time back, but obviously there was some monetary connection still. Now, whether that will be used as a leeway to show that I was just squaring up my accounts when I realized that this company is up to mischief, I perhaps quit it. Now, this could end up being his stand, and if proven true, then this whole thing falls on its face.
No,
but,
by the way, that's not true, because the police also says that Kundra set up a WhatsApp group on which the app's content was discussed. So
I happened to read some of those WhatsApps, and that is why I said that this time the police seem to have a lot of evidence with them, and that is why this claim, any claim by Raj that I'm innocent will have to be substantiated. He will have to prove the essence of these chats, and I think it's a sticky situation, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more info going to come out. Yeah. It's not a good time.
Bottom line, we have to wait for the investigation to proceed. Yeah, I've run out of time. Thank you very much to the 4 of you. With that, it's a wrap in this edition of Trending Tonight. News and updates continue on the other side. Stay with us.